Slag Hammer is actually starting to become a car. She's crossed that zone now, you know, where it goes from a rough abstract idea to where you're actually starting to work down the details. Now, if you follow in this build, Al has been covering all of the things he's been doing for the last week or two on his channel, Mopar Al. So if you're really interested in this project and you want to follow the updates, the daily updates, that's where you want to go for it. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on the more dynamic aspects of the build and what's going on with it. So, by the way, he just picked up these valve covers off of Facebook Marketplace. 60 bucks, brand new, beautiful Chrome Rosso valve covers. See, the bargains are out there. You just got to go hunt for them. Here's the latest with this thing. We've gotten to the point now that we're working the details, trying to figure out how this thing is going to go together and how it's going to run. And part of it has to do with weight. Weight is like super important on any hot rod project. So we stuck her on the scales the other day, and we're at 1,906 pounds, or we were at 1,906 pounds. And then that's without any drivetrain at all. That's without the axles in the housing, back wheels. Yeah. So we're looking at probably 2,000 pounds as a roller, and now we're going to throw another 1,200 pounds worth of big block Chrysler 727, center section, drive shaft, fuel, all sorts of things, right? Battery, about 3,400 pounds. We need to cut about 200, 250 out of it. And that's one of the things that Al's been working on now.
What's going on? Hey, what's up?
What you working on?
Man, I'm in the dark here trying to figure out where I can cut some more holes out.
You've done a glorious job of Swiss cheesing the metal that's just coming along for the ride.
Oh, dude, it's been fun.
It has, right? And now you've been weighing all of this?
Yes.
That's the debris that's in the box,
yes.
Right? These are the filings from just what he's taken out of the hood, and he drilled a few holes down here in the cross member. So what are we at there, man? That's
almost 3 pounds.
Almost 3 pounds of, that's beautiful. That's the essence of hot rodding right there.
Every little bit adds up.
And then naturally, so you trim down the front cross member,
right?
Which isn't really needed on this thing because the frame rails are held together in so many different places.
Right.
Actually integrated into the unibody of the car.
Yeah, because we didn't need the back part of it, so yeah.
Yeah. So what's left of the cross member really is just to hold the front leaf springs apart from each other. So what do we got out of the car so far?
Right now we got about 17 pounds out of it.
And how much do we need to get out of it?
A lot more.
What's a lot more? What's our target?
Well, I mean, I know our target weight's 3, but realistically, I mean, we can get down to 3,200 or less.
Right, and then with you in it, you're another 200.
And of course,
pounds.
I'm going to try to lose 40 pounds by the no-name nationals.
That's important. Now, you may actually have to leave a leg behind or something. And since it's an automatic,
arm,
that's really not...
I'm right-handed, so yeah.
This is what I'm saying. What other things have we done to the car?
Basically, we've been going over what we want to add, what we want to subtract, get the body weight down on it. We're getting closer. We've had a lot of suggestions.
Okay.
And a lot of suggestions, well, drill the axle out. Guys, it's not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Too thick. So we're going to try to get where we got. Other than that, I kind of slowed down on the body work a little bit because my arms are tired.
Yeah, but look, see, Al has taken over where my bodywork skills don't really add up. Look at this job that he's done on this thing. Dude, it's completely epic.
Oh, I mean, it's all almost dialed in. I mean, yeah, I can probably do a little bit more, but it's to a point where, like, listen, it's good.
Yeah.
We're going to finish doing some stuff on that. I'm going to finish sanding down the car. I got to do a little bit of work on the hood and everything. So hopefully here we'll get this thing in a primer.
Well, now you've been off your regular job now for how long?
3.5 weeks.
And you go back when?
22nd.
So between now and the 22nd, which is only about 4 days or so.
Right.
Right. How much more of this do you think you can get done?
I know I can get the rest of the car sanded down.
Okay.
And do some tweaking on this side. I want to get a little bit more fill in just before we do the high build primer.
Okay.
So then that way there, all we got to do is block sand the primer down. And the good thing about high build is it'll let you show what you missed and get it dialed in, and then hopefully soon we'll throw some paint on it. We picked a color. But you're not gonna know yet until we get close to time to paint it.
It's not what you think.
Exactly.
It's not what you think. But you've been ripping along on this thing at an ungodly pace. I mean, this is first class, flogging,
Oh yeah.
you know?
And trying to do that and get over COVID at the same time. I mean, it's doing pretty good. But I mean, we caught a lot off the back of this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because that frame was extended out like another 8 inches, and we just.
I'm going to do what I can to get weight out of the drivetrain, but there's only so much you can do. There's, not much weight you can leave off the 727, and a cast iron big block is no flyweight either. But now a lot of people are mentioning about the tires too, about these wheels. Oh, you need to narrow the axle.
Right.
But what they're not realizing is that these are not the tires that we're going to be running. We'll be running more of an old school bias ply that's got less of a bulge here and a narrower section up here. And it'll actually put the tire about in line with the fender lip. And then at the back, you got to realize you're not seeing this as a complete picture. At the back of the car, see, and that was another thing people were talking about, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the back of the car, all right? People are like, oh, you did all this work and you have to radius the wheel well. But no, you got to understand, this is mounted on a truck chassis, and the axle is under the leaf spring. So we have it calculated out that a 29 or a 30-inch tall tire will have a 4-inch space between the fender lip here and the top of the tire, which is plenty to make up for suspension travel and even centrifugal forces. The tire wants to grow, the tire won't grow that much, but there'll be plenty of space here, suspension movement and clearance to the tire. That the car is going to sit up, high, alert, and just about completely even front and back once everything is laid out. But again, you're only seeing portions of it. The front tire and the back tires will all be in the right proportion. When you see it when it's done, you'll get it. You'll get the picture. We're not going to do anything under the car suspension-wise until we've got the bodywork finished.
Right. We want to get all that done.
Right. It's a swamp. It's a quagmire. The entire shop, everything is covered with Bondo dust. My truck is covered with Bondo dust, and it hasn't even been in here. It's everywhere.
Oh, I know.
I pet my dogs, Bondo dust.
Oh, it's on my seat. And
here, I'm just.
Oh yeah, just touching
Just hanging out for a minute.
But we figure we get this that out of the way. I mean, because like I said, I don't know how many times we have cleaned and cleaned and cleaned and cleaned, and it's still here. It's not wanting to go away.
No, we should have weighed. There's 3 gallons have gone on it.
And then probably 1.5 gallons has came off of it.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
At least. Look at the junkyard jet. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, it is.
But that's what happens. You're working in the winter.
Oh yeah, I mean, so everything's you got to do what you can inside. But the good thing is the cars is becoming reality.
Yes. Yeah. The details are getting filled in. It's like I can see it. I can hear it now. Like before, it was like, okay, well, it's just this random lump of rusty, weird metal. But now, no, it's like it's being refined.
Oh yeah,
everything's being whittled away, and
a lot of people are digging it, man. It's like because they know what originally was with the car to where it's becoming now, and a lot of people are like really digging it.
Now you did a recap on your channel explaining the whole history of this thing from the time that I originally put together the parts car and the chassis. And then right up to where we are now.
Right.
So
go check that out at Slag Hammer past to present.
Yeah, in case you guys haven't been following along from the beginning. So we're moving ahead. And he's going to keep charging on this for the next couple of few days. The motor is evolving, we did a couple of videos on we painted the block and all the other stuff. The motor actually, the idea for the motor, and we are building 2 motors for this. The idea for the motor keeps evolving, and once it's a little bit more cast in stone, exact, then I'll go over all of the parts. But as it is right now, it's still kind of in flux. So we won't cover that yet. But there you go. There's your Slag Hammer update. We'll come back in a week or so and give you guys the hardcore nuts and bolts. These are all the engine parts. This is the converter we're going to use. This is the gear we're going to use. Blah, 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 right on down the line. And you'll see the vision. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
Oh, before you know it, man, this stuff's all going to be clicking together.
I'm telling you, it's going a lot faster than...
And I'm really digging the valve covers.
Right? The chrome valve covers with the gold oil pan.
With the red
and
block.
The red block
Oh, dude, it's going...
Velocity stacks.
I might just want to take the whole front end off.
That was the other thing too. We also calculated out with the motor in place, the carburetors right here would be above the hood. So we're putting a grump lump on this thing to,
Oh, that's gonna look nice.
right? I'm telling you, just nice big grump lump, right?
If y'all don't know what it is, go online and look it up. I mean, it's so nostalgic, so retro, and it's gonna fit the car.
Yeah, it's a big box on top of a big box, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's it, guys.
See y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.